40. In fact, you got to go all the way over to the thousandth of a second, 5/1000ths of a second quicker than the time of Natalie Decker.
That's an awesome looking car. I haven't seen that paint scheme before. It looks really good on his car this weekend.
That's a fourth car for Alpha Prime. Of course, Caesar co-owns that team with Tommy Joe Martins. Josh Williams, I referenced, going to be in the 45. Brennan Poole full-time in the 44. And the 4, of course, is Parker Retzlaff. As we head now to the 14, third car out in qualifying, Garrett Smithley driving for SS Greenlight Racing and Bobby Dodder.
Adam, you got to think that Justin Haley just jinxed himself. They're probably going to say, listen, we didn't get it full on that last stop. We're going to need you to save a little bit of fuel tonight.
Good lap going here for Smithley. Well into the green as he makes his way down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and if you go back to last year, Chandler Smithson on the pole at 49.67, so about 8/10 quicker than what Baccarello ran just a bit ago. And you see Garrett Smithley looks like he's going to be at least a 10.5 quicker. The exit's 4. It looks like the tracker just keeps getting better and better. 2/3 quicker than what Caesar ran.
Great looking race car for Smithley as well. And he goes to the top of 50-20 for the driver from Pennsylvania. There's a post from Garrett Smithley. Says, I just have a feeling about this weekend. We referenced, some of our fill there, that you do see upsets here. And when you look at his history, when he's had success, it's been in the draft. Best career run ever came here 2018 when he was 5th.
Well, I think mindset, he's in the right place, and that's what you got to have for sure.
Here's Kim.
Josh Williams making his first start with Alpha Prime after parting ways with colleague after Indy. What do the logistics look like switching or starting with a new team mid-season?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? But, I'm used to it, I guess, in some way, right? When I first started, Xfinity bounced around from team to team. So, I don't know. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be fun. I actually got to work on the race car a little bit, so that's a little change of pace for me. So that was cool to be able to get back into doing that and helping the guys out here at Alpha Prime. But, to have a sponsor on board, Optum Health, partner with Alloy, which is one of my main sponsors, and coming here to Daytona with them, hopefully we can have a good run and, stay on the asphalt this time and end up there with a chance to win at the end.
Leland Honeyman completes his lap. 50-10, he is now the fastest. Another driver that when you look at his career stat line has given his best performances in the draft. '07 is Patrick Emmerling, who recorded his best career finish, a 10th place at Daytona in February. And in the meantime, has won a couple of times in the modified ranks. And that's where he makes his home. 2 wins this year for him in the Whelen modified competition.
Yeah, he races a lot. I follow him around because I follow a lot of the modified racing. And I feel like every time I turn one on, he's in the race. And all those races, he's a contender in. So it's great to see him out here at Daytona. It's got to be fun to do the short tracks and the modified, and then you get a chance to come to an incredible track like Daytona and get to run on the high banks at a super speedway.
Team car to Garrett Smithley, who is currently 2nd, ran a 50-20, did Smithley in the 14. Here's Emmerling coming back to the line. See where he slots in. See him in the red, and he goes to 3rd, just behind his teammate. 50-23 for Patrick Emmerling. Here's Dylan Welch.
And let's check in with Nick Sanchez, who won the last time the Xfinity Series was on a drafting track. Different track, different style at Atlanta, but does that give you any more extra confidence coming into tonight?
I think so, right? I mean, the 2 tracks are so different, but the same things apply. This is a drafting style track, and I know my number 48 Pickers Vaca Chevrolet is going to be as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight's race and just getting ready for the playoffs.
Thanks, Nick.
I go back to February, and he was so strong, really good in the opening stage, and it looks like he's going to be top 5 into stage 2, involved in a crash that ultimately ended that 2nd stage. But the 48 group that has always been really good in the draft, I think about when Parker was driving over there for Big Machine, and now Sanchez, and we talk about the win and his history here with what he's done in trucks and across the board. You just have to anticipate that rookie driver will be someone to watch in tonight's race. This guy as well, Matt DiBenedetto.
Yeah, no doubt. Parker Parker will tell you he's probably most of that success of the 48 team. Had nothing to do with the car. I kid, Parker, I kid. But no, Sanchez has been fast at a lot of different tracks this year, and he's one of those guys has a knack for this type of racing as well.
DiBenedetto, career best at Talladega when he finished 5th in April, and he goes right to the top. First driver on the south side of 50 seconds, 49.88 for DiBenedetto. Here's Kim.
And Rajah Caruth making his second start of the season, but your first drafting start in the Xfinity Series car. How different do you expect it to be than what you deal with in trucks?
Yeah, Kim, definitely excited to be back here in the Xfinity Series and my first race here with Atlanta Life Insurance. As Jeremy's getting their car started, but excited to kick off the partnership here at Daytona. But yeah, I expect these things to be very different in traffic compared to the trucks that I've done. I've run an Xfinity car on the road courses, the mile and a halves, pretty much everywhere but a speedway. So it'll be interesting to see, but confident in the speed of Jordan Anderson's stuff, and hopefully we have a good night.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Got to be interesting for Rajah tonight because the trucks, I mean, the draft is incredible, and we're going to hear a lot of complaints tonight about it's hard to pass, right? It's hard to break through the bubble. You hear all the guys talk about that. A lot different than what he's experienced in the trucks, but he's been really impressive in everything he's been in up to this point. So no doubt he'll get it figured out.
The driving for Jordan Anderson, we know Jeb Burton has won for the team in the draft, and Jordan, he's driven that 32 car multiple times here at Daytona and had great success. So I'm anxious to watch Rajah tonight. Begins a run toward a Truck Series championship next weekend as he drives full-time over there. Anthony Alfredo second behind DiBenedetto, his time of 50.043. And here's Ryan Ellis in the 71. One of 3 DGM cars this weekend, driving for Mario Gosselin, teammates to Natalie Decker and Josh Bilicki. Decker's on the board at a 50.40. We'll see how Ellis slots in.
So excited for Ryan earlier this year when he was finally able to get that top 10 finish. He talked about in our preseason that was a huge goal of his. It was awesome to see him finally get that, and I feel like he had a good run here at Daytona earlier this year, but like so many, you get caught up in an accident and it can end your day. Law averages though will catch up with you at a track like this. You get a couple of bad runs, you'll get lucky and survive the wreck and be able to get a decent run out of it.
I'd say one of his career highlights was here at Daytona. A couple years ago, February, led 11 laps through a cycle of stops and finished just outside the top 10. Third in qualifying behind DiBenedetto and Alfredo is Ryan Ellis, down to Dillon.
And if you want another dark horse tonight, Adam, look no further than Jeremy Clements. He's won here in this summer race at Daytona. Do you have another one up your sleeve tonight? How you feeling?
Heck yeah, man. I feel great. You know, Daytona, there's 38 cars starting tonight. I'd say any of them can win. If you survive and you get to the end, you're going to have a chance. So I'm looking forward to seeing what our all-South Chevy can do and seeing if she's as fast as Xfinity Mobile as always. But this is a great race for any underdog, and I'm definitely looking forward to it again. This will be it was 3 years ago this weekend, so this is awesome to be back. I love racing at Daytona. It's such a privilege. It never gets old.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Career start 5:21 tonight for Jeremy Clements, moves him to third on the all-time list, passing Jason Keller. He'll be behind only Jeff Green and Kenny Wallace, who is the all-time leader, and if he sticks with it, next year he will become the all-time starts leader in the history of the Xfinity Series. Jeremy Clements has been so great for this series over the years. Sieg family's been great for Xfinity as well. Here comes Kyle Sieg in the 28. 4 career top 10s in the draft, and he's 7th in qualifying, 50.2. Let's go back to 2022 summertime. Jeremy Clements' second career victory.
Yeah, and he talked about it. If you're in it, you can win it. And see right here, he was in the right position at the right time. That was such a cool win for him. I know he had the road course win as well, but we're going to talk about it all night. There's nothing quite like being able to win at Daytona. You see the excitement of Jeremy down there in the infield.
Well, if you go back to that, there's so much drama with winning at this place, but added drama, he won. They had problems in the inspection line. They appeal. They win the appeal. So it was like you get the win, it's taken away, then they gave it back. But a great moment for he and his family-owned team that operates out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. And here's Tampa, Florida's Eric Almirola, always a threat in the draft. There's one here at Daytona, one earlier this season at Phoenix, driving the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, he's actually won both Cup and Xfinity here in the summertime, and he's exceptional at this type of racing. Always seems to put himself in a good position. And the one thing I think to watch tonight with the Gibbs cars is I don't see them being contenders for the pole, but they seem to make their cars handle well, and handling is going to be a factor tonight. I think that's what they focus on more than anything, and Eric definitely knows how to put himself in the right position.
Almirola is second, Kim.
And Jeb Burton finds himself fighting for a playoff spot. We know how good you are when it comes to draft-style racing. You've gotten it done at Talladega in the past. Why can you get it done tonight?
I think we got confidence, Kim. I think we won Talladega. I feel like a lot of people agree with that. The first race here, we're running 5th and got wrecked on the white flag lap. So the Golden Corral State Water Heater car, hopefully right here is as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and hopefully have a good starting spot. But if not, we'll be good tonight. The guys have worked really hard on this car. Daytona, for whatever reason, we hadn't had quite the speed as Talladega. But we've worked really hard on that to get our car handling so I can make the moves that I need to make. Just excited. We're 30 points back from Harrison. I know how many points we're back. We've talked about it. But I just want to go out there and do my thing. I got the best spotter on the roof with Mike Herman Jr. and just excited. I love being here. My uncle's one here, my cousin's one here, my dad's one here, and I've led getting into turn 3 on the last lap and finished 4th. So want to win bad, not just for the playoffs, but for all my partners, and just excited and ready to go.
Jeb Burton mentioning that he felt like they won at Talladega. He was talking about the race earlier this year, that photo finish where he was oh so close, but ultimately the checkered flag going to Austin Hill.
The photo finish that happened under caution. This is it, final lap. Get the crash that's going to bring out the caution. Here it is. They come off the corner. And actually, this is earlier in the race. This is the final lap right here. Connor Zilic gets turned inside wall. Caution comes out. And look at that. I mean, they're 3 wide out front. And it's all a matter of when did the caution come out and who was leading at the time of caution.
Well, heartbreak right there. And I hate it for Jeb because I think he convinced himself he won before we got to see, all the replays. And obviously, they were 3 wide. And he was obviously ahead of the car that was in the middle, but it's disappointing, and we wouldn't be having the conversation of him being 30 points back if he had that win, because they would have been locked into the playoffs. And he does really well at this type of racing, and expect him to be one of those guys tonight that'll be fighting for the win.
Josh Bilicki made his qualifying run while we were visiting with Jeb. He is 11th. Here's Sheldon Creed, well in the green. Top of the board for the 00, 49.75 for the driver that's been a runner-up here twice and was 3rd in February. That car looks good. If you're spotting, you know where he is on track tonight.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because when we were showing Allgaier's car earlier with that green, as cool looking as that car was in the pits, I was thinking about tonight on the track.
It blends a little bit, right?
It's kind of a hard car to see, and it's not his typical colors. I think for the spotters, you want something that's common, and if not, I want something really bright. So it'd be interesting to see if that's a factor for him.
With that, I introduce Mason Maggio, Florida native, making his first start in the Xfinity Series here at Daytona. Does have a top 15 run here in the Craftsman Truck Series. Part of the Joey Gase duo this weekend. He's driving the 35, and the owner, Joey Gase, will be in the 53 for tonight's race.
Yeah, and as you talked about that lap that Creed ran at 49.75, that's within a tenth of what the pole was here last summer. So track maybe is a little quicker. Maybe the conditions are just a little bit better. It seems like all these cars are running a little faster than what we expected.
Maggio keeping it down on that double yellow line as best he can. Through the tri-oval, back to the start-finish line. And he is 10th of the 13 cars that have been on track. Back down to Dillon.
And we've caught up with Brandon Jones as he awaits his turn to qualify. Okay, when we were here in February, it didn't go so well. How excited are you to be back here and hopefully have a better result this time?
Yeah, we need to make more than 5 laps than when we did the first race. But no, we always run really competitive at these style of racetracks. I've actually pretty enjoyed so far our super speedway program here at Joe Gibbs Racing. I think it's made some good strides here, so I'm excited to see what kind of speed we have in qualifying. I kind of hopeful it might have rained out. 7th wouldn't have been too bad, but I think we'll still be pretty good here. So we'll see. We've got Patriot Lighting and Fiskars and Menards on board this weekend, so hopefully we are as fast as Xfinity Mobile and can go rip a lap right here and see where we line up to start.
Thanks, Brandon.
So many times when you talk about a driver at a track, you're like, man, I remember when he won, or I remember that unbelievable pass, part of that big finish. With Brandon Jones, my image of him at Daytona is interviews at the Care Center, because he's had 4 DNFs in the last 9 races, and it's not his fault. It's just been wrong place, wrong time. And you talk about the law of averages, and we know we'll have a car that can get it done tonight. One earlier this season at Darlington will be a part of the playoff chase.
Yeah, we heard a few of the guys reference that wreck on lap 5. It got Daniel Dye. We see Brandon talked about he was one of the cars that got turned in that. It's frustrating to sit around and wait all day, and then 10 minutes into the race you're done and just heading home. So hopefully he can have a better night tonight, Adam. And you mentioned it, he'll have a fast car. One of his teammates right there, Williams Wallace, on track. All these Gibbs cars, I don't see them qualifying well, but in the race, we saw Taylor Gray in the race here in February. All those guys were able to find themselves to the front towards the end of the race with good handling cars.
Here's what I would say, too. The dynamic a little bit different tonight for Joe Gibbs Racing, because you feel like Brandon Jones obviously is going to make it longer and be a part of the mix, and you add a veteran, which helps. And then Eric Almirola driving the 19 in the spring. It was Justin Bonsignor, who had never been here.
Yep.
Justin did a great job. But you just can't beat the experience that Almirola brings and what it will do to help the young rookies, William Sawalich, and you referenced Taylor Gray. By the way, Joey Gase went 9th as Sawalich comes out to make his qualifying run, the 15th car to get on track.
Yeah, it looks like Williams going to lay just almost directly over the top of Eric Almirola, who's already run right there. I would expect all those Gibbs cars to be fairly close to each other. The consistency and then the build and the engines over at Joe Gibbs Racing, actually a little bit better right there for William, up to 49.83 and second right now, so good lap for him.
Kim?
And Dean Thompson finished 8th back in February in his only Xfinity start here at Daytona. So how optimistic are you that you can back it up with another top 10?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. We've had a decent run at Talladega. I felt like lacked a little bit on speed there, but had a good run at Atlanta 1 and Atlanta 2. So I feel like our car is as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and we'll have a good day.
So Dean, while he was great here in the Xfinity race earlier this year, 3 truck starts here, all DNFs. That's that balance we talk about, a right place, right time at Daytona. Well, you see the caution lights are out, and the reason is we've had lightning again. Anytime you get lightning within 8 miles of the track, we have to shut it down for 30 minutes. You look at the radar, man, we've been so good on rain this afternoon. No pop-up showers that have